All right, thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day out there. I hope that you love storms because we do have a lot of storms to talk about that's crossing across East Texas right now, the western side of Louisiana. And we are also tracking storms that are moving into Houston, which of course includes those East Texas storms. So let's go ahead and get into it. I do want to first call attention to the tornado watch that's in effect right now. That goes until 9 o'clock in the Houston area. That includes Houston, Pasadena, Pearland, Sugar Land, and then actually if we zoom out here, let's go ahead and zoom out, maybe, then we can actually see that we have a tornado watch that goes all the way up and down the East Texas area that goes all the way until, oh, and we may have some Earth. Let's pull that in here. Okay, can you guys still hear me? I'm producing by myself today, so that may be why we're having just a few technical issues here. Let's pull in GR Earth, and I'll show you guys what to watch for in terms of severe storms. Haha, there we go. Okay. So here's GR Earth. Here's your tornado watch highlighted here in purple. There's your brand new tornado warning highlighted there in red. Now you can see that that is right along the Texas and Louisiana state line. That state line highlighted right here in white, purple, and then this is moving from the Texas state line, currently in Texas and into Louisiana here in the next few minutes. You can see that this tornado warning, and you can't see what I'm looking at here, but I'll read to you what the National Weather Service is saying. It remains in effect until 5:45 this evening, so we've got another 14 minutes left on this tornado warning right now. It's a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado. That was located just to the south of Martinsville, Texas, in Nacogdoches, moving to the east at 35 miles an hour. So this is a very classic spin-up tornado that we see in this long line. It's called a QLCS right here. What that means is it's a cluster of thunderstorms that are all congealed together in this line that you can actually see stretches anywhere from the Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas state line just south of Texarkana, and then continues to track to the south all the way down as far south as Freer, Texas, and the far southern edge of the state. And along this line, we have several warnings. So let's kind of do around the radar here and let's talk about those different warnings. Highlighted here in yellow is a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6:15. The main threat with this is going to be strong wind. So that's what you're going to see for a good portion of these storms right in this area is going to be strong wind and spin up tornadoes. If you go farther down to the south, then what you start to get into is going to be that hail threat. And let's see if I'm right here looking at the National Weather Service's warning here. They're saying up to 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Taking a look at this one as well. Some small hail with this and 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Now, whenever you can get these more isolated supercells, that's whenever you're going to get the larger hail sizes. So Three Rivers going into George West right now. This is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds and up to quarter-size hail, and we have gotten a quarter-size hail report. Now, we knew that today would not be a large hail day. We expected this to be more of a tornado risk day and high wind day, so that's exactly what we're getting right now as these storms are moving into Houston. Now, what I like to do is I like to ask you guys, where are you watching from? Let me know where you guys are watching from right now, and I can check our comments section so we can get to your areas and exactly where you guys are watching from. All right, in the chat right now, it's quiet, but I want to hear, where are you guys at? Are you out here in Shreveport? Are you seeing these storms moving into Houston right now? While I wait for those questions to come in, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to find some good cameras out of Houston. We're going to try to get some visuals on this storm right here. So let me know where you're watching from. Did you guys expect these storms for your Valentine's Day? I told you at the very beginning of this live that I hope that you I hope that you love storms because it's very fitting for Valentine's Day, right? All right, we've got some traffic jams in Houston. I'll show you my screen in just a minute. We've got some red popping up on some of our traffic. Let's see if we can get any eyes on this storm. Here we go. Got some heavy rain. All right, let me pull this over. Where are you guys watching from? We've got some people watching from Tulsa. Thanks for watching from Tulsa today. Northeast Oklahoma, nothing going on here. Yeah, we can get an Oklahoma update here in just a minute. Nothing severe in Oklahoma. However, I did see that we got a special, a special weather statement. Basically, it means a strong storm, but not strong enough to be severe thunderstorm warned. We've got Texarkana. We always have someone watching from Texarkana in our chats. And then Andrew asking about the Houston area. Well, great timing, Andrew, because I am going to go ahead and show the Houston area. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here you go. We got some coming in from Toronto, Canada. Yeah, no storms happening in Toronto, Canada from what I'm aware of. Hang on one second and I'll make this a little bit bigger for you here. All right. Okay, so here's what we've got coming out of Houston right now. Obviously, you can see that rain coming down pretty hard. This is exactly what we saw out of Dallas this morning as well. Visibility got very, very low on the roadways. That rain was coming down so hard that we saw traffic jams, and it looks like we are starting to see some slowdowns on the highway at the moment. Moving through Houston, it doesn't look like we have any areas of rotation. However, we do absolutely have an area that we're watching for with some strong wind in Houston. Just to the north and west of you guys in the Stagecoach area, Tomball, we've got some strong wind, I think, coming into the area. This severe thunderstorm warning is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-size hail. So basically what we're saying from this is, yes, we absolutely have a chance to see spin-up tornadoes in this area. We do have a tornado watch in place right now, highlighted there in purple. That goes, I think, until 9 o'clock tonight. Let me make sure I'm correct on that. Yeah, 9 o'clock this evening. We are still watching for potential spin-up tornadoes, but right now it's just a wind and a small hail threat. For all of you jumping on, wondering if there's going to be any hail in Houston, it's going to be a very, very low chance. Now, I know that our name, our company name, Hail Trace, we focus mainly on hailstorms, right? And we would tell you if there's hail coming into the area. It's a low chance. We're not going to hype this up at all. We're going to tell you exactly what we think, and what we're seeing right now is a very low chance for hail. Your biggest concern here is going to be those little spin-up tornadoes, which is what we're seeing on the north side of this system right now. You go farther down to the south, you've got a better chance for hail. Actually, our hail forecast highlighted is it I-121? Is that what goes from Houston to San Antonio? I may not be correct on that. But we highlighted this highway right here and then places to the south to see the largest hail sizes. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here. You can see this severe thunderstorm warning highlighted for 1-inch size hail, so not terribly large there, quarter size hail. And then we've also got 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and smaller than quarters down here highlighted in yellow. So that's another severe thunderstorm warning. Brandon asking, can you send hail to Missouri? I know I wish I had that capability to send hail wherever we wanted it to go, but I can only report on it. Cannot control it. Huntington, Texas, also in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Huntington, Texas. And we also Have an update from, or I guess a wish from the redheaded stepchild coming in from YouTube. Everyone, of course, is getting a lot of rain on this Valentine's Day. I told you I would get an update on Oklahoma and on Arkansas as well. We've got a few thunderstorms that are moving into the metro here in Oklahoma. You're going to see a little bit of lightning and maybe hear that thunder. For the most part, we are not worried about severe weather anymore in Oklahoma. You may get a little bit of rain, which we, of course, would love here across the state, but it's not going to last very long. It's going to be very short-lived. You can see it's a thin line of storms that are moving across the state right now, and you're going to see a little bit of lightning from that. Other than that, that's going to be your biggest severe risk. Missouri entering the chat. Brandon, sorry, no hail in Missouri. You do have a little bit of rain, light to moderate rain across the state. Got rain across Illinois. This is a pretty significant system, but of course, the most impressive part of this system is down here in eastern Texas. Shreveport, you've got storms that are going to pick up in your area over the next few minutes. You can see the bulk of this rain moving through Oil City, Greenwood right now, just across the state line. Let's go ahead and talk about Tyler, Texas now. Devin from Facebook is asking about Tyler, Texas. Now, you guys, every single year, I update my Texas geography, but it's been a while since we've had storms in Texas. So let me go ahead. Let's find Tyler, Texas, Dallas. It's over here, right? I knew it was east of Dallas. There's Canton. Have I gone far enough? Tyler, Texas. Got it. No, the hail risk has passed you guys in Tyler, Texas. The hail risk will be right along this line that's highlighted in yellow and red. That's moving across East Texas and into Louisiana over the next few hours. Everyone back to the west of that is going to get some light to maybe moderate rain. Maybe, if you're lucky, a flash of lightning or thunder every now and then. But even these storms back here that may have the heavier rain, like Wills Point or Mildred and Crossroads, you're not going to see a ton of lightning and thunder. Better chances for hail is going to be farther down to the south in places like Victoria and Edna. But even then, I'm not too impressed with the hail risk today. We know, and we knew yesterday, that the Saturday risk is going to be more of a tornado and a wind risk, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We do have a brand new updated severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust moving across East Texas and center into the state line right here. And then in terms of the Houston metro, it's another wind-related severe thunderstorm warning, also for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Charlie asking about any hailers popping out of this storm. It's a long line of it's a long line of thunderstorms that will most likely not produce any hail. If you see any hail, it'll be down here to the south, but even then, I'm not too impressed with these storms right here. They're just not organized enough. Very, very disorganized here. That's pretty common for this long line of storms. This is called a QLCS. Basically what that means is it's a bunch of thunderstorms all congealed into this long line right here that stretches for miles and miles and miles from northern Louisiana all the way down to the far southern edge of Texas. And what this means is that all of these storms basically get in each other's way. So if you've got a supercell and another supercell, they're going to get in each other's way, and they're not going to promote that organization that you need to produce large hail. So very, very small hail expected to come from these storms, but I know that we have severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So I wanted to get on and tell you guys, if nothing else, what not to expect, just as much as what to expect. I don't want to hype these up for you. I want to make sure that you guys know that there are absolutely potential for tornadoes to spin up here. What we're watching for every now and then, you're going to see a little notch forming from this long line of storms. That's whenever you're going to get your spin up tornado. Also, you're going to get these bows. Do you see that? How it's almost like a backwards C shaped, like a crescent shaped right here? That's going to indicate some strong wind. So that's what this severe thunderstorm warning highlighted here in yellow That's what this is warning for right now, is strong wind. Pretty low threat overall for now, but we still have a tornado watch in effect. So we still have to be very, very aware of any of those spin up tornadoes. Absolutely possible to get a few spin up tornadoes in here. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. Until then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the radar up here on the board. You guys can come back at any time and check the radar as these storms move through Houston. After that, we'll jump off, and then if anything significant happens for storms tomorrow, we still have a risk for storms tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here's your risk for storms today. This goes all the way through early tomorrow morning. As the sun comes up tomorrow morning, we have a brand new risk to show you here. Let's see, can I get tomorrow's risk on here? Maybe not, but I have other ways to show that to you. Alrighty. Let's take a look at what tomorrow looks like. You guys get to see the behind the scenes from the forecasts that we create every day. So if you watch our noon shows, you probably see these graphics quite often. As we wait for it to load here, we make these graphics every single day before noon so that you guys can see the exact risks at noon. We update these every day. Okay, here's today's risk. You can obviously see those storms or the area that we're expecting the greatest amount of severe thunderstorm warnings today highlighted there in yellow. Here's tomorrow's risk. Mainly for northern Florida, it has been upgraded. It was a marginal risk yesterday. Today, they upgraded it to slight risk. That's a level 2 on a scale of 5. That mainly includes northern Florida and southern Georgia, but we could still see a few morning storms through eastern Louisiana. How well can you guys see that? Let's see if we can move this over. Or at least move my camera out of the way. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit better. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a few morning storms through the eastern portion of Louisiana and Mississippi. Through the mid-morning hours, Alabama and Georgia are going to start to see those storms. It's going to intensify through the early afternoon and late afternoon hours. That's whenever we see more storms moving into the northern side of Florida, and then, of course, headed off to the East Coast by the end of the day on Sunday. And then Monday looks pretty quiet. If we look into next week, do we have any potential storms next week? Out in California, we do. But things start to slow down next week. Let's see. You may have a snowstorm up in the north. Talking about Nebraska and Iowa areas. And then the very end of this month, the very end of February and early March, we may have another system come through. And then it looks like things could start to get active. I know that we're still about 2 weeks away from that. So a lot could change between now and then. We'll keep an eye on it for you. All right, let's go back to the radar. Any other questions before I jump off of here? Okay, I see a few people in the chat. Any other questions? All right, no big questions that we haven't answered already. If you're just joining us, the biggest risks that you're going to have for the rest of the evening is going to be that tornado and wind risk. The hail risk now is very, very low. If we do see any hailers, it'll be to the south of Houston, most likely not in the Houston metro. The biggest risks for the Houston metro this evening is going to be strong wind speeds, about 60, maybe up to 65 or 70 miles an hour with some of the strongest storms that we're going to get. Other than that, lots of rain coming through. It's going to be a loud storm system with a lot of lightning, especially with some of those storms that are just to the south of Houston. We're seeing a lot of lightning in this area right here. so it may be pretty loud as we head into the evening hours. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. We're going to leave the radar up here for just a few more minutes. Let us know if you have any questions in the chat. I'll pop back on here in just a few minutes to answer any of those leftover questions. All right, hail stalkers. I wanted to give a quick update because we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, Texas. So we're going to get a quick update on that here in just a few minutes. I've got about 2 or 3 more minutes here. So if you have any last minute questions, go ahead and let me know in the comments section. Hopefully you can hear me right now. Again, I am producing by myself tonight. So we always seem to some sort of technical difficulties occasionally whenever I produce by myself. You know, it's a holiday, and so that is just what happens. And so we make it work here at Hail Trace. All right, put your questions and your comments in the comments center, and we will go ahead and get to those here in just a few minutes. At the bottom of the screen, you see the information about the tornado watch that is issued, highlighted there in bright yellow. That still goes from Galveston to Houston, the western side of Louisiana, and most of East Texas. Let's go ahead and take a look at these warnings. One second, there you go. All righty. All right, let's get some information on this warning that is for Houston, Texas. Highlighted here in this yellow-orange color, what you see is a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6:45. So we've got another 35 minutes left on this warning here. The biggest risks are going to be those strong wind speeds at 60 miles per hour is possible. You could also see some small hail with this, but it's going to be a pretty low risk for hail. Small hail, including hail up to the size of quarters, but probably smaller than that. You know, we didn't expect this hail to be big today. We've told you that the risks are pretty small. We expected the hail to be a lot larger yesterday, and we didn't really see that come to fruition, but we knew that the hail was not expected to be large today. More of a tornado and a wind risk in Houston today, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Still a few spin-up tornadoes cannot be ruled out. Now, the greatest amount of rain that you're going to get in Houston is going to be over the next 45 minutes while the strongest line of storms are moving through. If we watch the radar, let's rewind it a little bit. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's watch the radar over the last 45 minutes here. You can see it's moving pretty quickly to the east into Houston. It's a line of storms. It's going to hit pretty quick. But we've seen these storms move quick over the last 24 hours, and I think they're only picking up speed. I think it's only going to get a lot faster as we head into the overnight hours and then into early tomorrow morning. We do have another risk for storms early tomorrow morning as well, and we talked about that just a few minutes ago. So if you have any other questions on that, let me know in the comments section. The severe thunderstorm warning, let me get some information on this from the National Weather Service. They're saying that it's moving to the east at 45 miles an hour. That is a lot faster than what we saw these storms moving at earlier. Earlier, it was at about 35 miles an hour. So I do expect this quick speed of these storms to continue as we head into the late night hours. I know the sun's already set or is currently setting outside of my window right now. We are officially into the evening. Let's see. Any other weather questions today? There's your storm system. The most significant storm system that we've seen in February so far. I do expect to have another round of storms late this month, but until then, we probably will be pretty quiet in terms of severe weather. I want to take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning right here because it looks a little bit more impressive than the others. It's going into Roman Forest right now, right across Highway 69. Still 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and less than quarter size hail sizes. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, that would be your speed. Your sizes are going to be less than a quarter for hail. And this is moving even faster to the east at 50 miles an hour. But there you go, there's your update. I'm going to go ahead and leave the radar on for just a few more minutes. Other than that, I'm going to hop off of here because these storms moving through Houston are not any to be too concerned about. We can't rule out a few little spin up tornadoes with this, but for the most part, what we're watching here is going to be your classic garden variety severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds and very small hail. You're going to see low visibility on the highways for just a short amount of time, and then all of a sudden that hail, that heavy rain is going to relax, and it's going to be a light to moderate rain. You can see that highlighted in green for a little bit. It may be a little bit of a dreary evening until about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Other than that, this line of storms, it's all you're getting. And it looks like it's going to come in a little bit weaker than we originally expected. 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds and less than quarter-size hail. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday evening. Thanks for spending your Saturday with us. Happy Valentine's Day. Again, here at Hail Trace, we love to talk about storms, so we appreciate that you guys do as well. And we will see you for your forecast on Monday at noon. I actually have a very special place I'm going to be doing that forecast from both Monday and Tuesday in honor of our Raising Hail Tour. We are in Chicago on Tuesday, so if you have not gotten tickets for the Raising Hail Tour yet, go ahead and do that. Head to raising-hail-tour.com. All right, we're going to leave the radar up for just a few more minutes, and then we'll see you here on Monday.